straightforward. Someone starts, you give them access. The project ends, you take it away. But in reality, that cleanup step is where things often break down. Accounts linger, passwords get shared, and suddenly security becomes an afterthought just to keep work moving. Today, I want to show you a better way, a simple approach that lets you give contractors exactly what they need, automatically removes access when the job's done, and doesn't turn into another thing on your to-do list. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Kinnett. I'm CEO and founder of Eternal Networks. And here at Eternal Networks, we believe in empowering others with the knowledge that they need to succeed. So every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific, I go live on all of our socials to discuss different technology topics to empower others. At Eternal Networks, we're dedicated to creating safe and secure environments for businesses and people to thrive in doing what they love. And helping to educate others on technology and cybersecurity especially is a key part of our mission. At the end of this live stream, I'll make sure to leave some time for answering any questions from the audience. So if you have any, throw them in the comments in the chat at any time, depending on which platform you're watching on. Just throw it in there and we'll get to those at the end. All right, the biggest issue with contractor access isn't malicious intent. It's human memory. Projects end, contractors roll off, and accounts don't always get cleaned up. Those forgotten logins become dormant or ghost accounts, and they're a favorite target for attackers because often nobody is watching them. And this isn't just theoretical. One of the most well-known examples is the 2013 Target breach, where attackers gained access through a third-party contractor account that had more access than it needed for longer than it needed. That single oversight led to massive financial and reputational damage for Target. So let's talk a little bit about why automation matters, right, for security and for compliance. Manually revoking access is risky and it's inconsistent. If you can automate revocation, on the other hand, it reduces your attack surface. It enforces least privilege access by default. It demonstrates due diligence for compliance frameworks like HIPAA and GDPR. And this is where conditional access really shines. So I'm going to go through several steps here on things that you can actually go and log into your Microsoft 365 and implement this moving forward for any contractors that you need to share access to. All right, the first step is you need to create a dedicated contractor security group. Everything starts with organization, right? We need to make sure we're setting it up to keep things organized. In the Microsoft Entra ID Admin Center, you're going to go and create a dedicated security group. Something clearly labeled like external contractors or temporary access or something that stands out as contractor limited access, right, for a specific purpose. This group becomes your single control point. So once the group's created, you'll then add contractors when they start and remove them when they finish. No individual permissions, no guesswork later. One simple step, that's it. Now let's talk about the other steps that allow the automation for removing the access and other things just by removing them from that group. So the second step is going to be to build a set and forget expiration policy. This is a conditional access policy. So you're going to go into the conditional access policy section of Entra ID Admin Center and create it and assign it to that contractor group. Now, when you're creating this conditional access policy, there's some key settings that you need to make sure that you're including. First and foremost, make sure that you're requiring multi-factor authentication as part of that policy. We want all of those third-party contractors that are getting this policy to have to use multi-factor authentication. Next, make sure that you're setting a sign-in frequency, like 90 days, and align that with your contract length. Only allow them access for 90 days. Once a contractor is removed from the group, they're then removed from that conditional access policy and they can't re-authenticate. Access shuts off automatically. No reminders needed. All right, the next step as you're setting this up is to limit the access to only what they need. Contractors should never have just broad, wide open access. So we're going to create a second conditional access policy to limit their access. And once again, we're going to target that contractor group, and you're going to allow only specific cloud apps that they actually need. Teams, Office, SharePoint, or any single application, or maybe even multiple applications, but not all applications, right? We're going to limit it. If all you need is to communicate with this person on Teams, only allow Teams access. And you're going to block everything else in this policy. This applies the principle of least privilege in a very practical way. All right, the next step, we want to strengthen the authentication without adding too much friction. You don't manage contractor devices, right? They have their own devices that they're using, and that's fine. But what you do control is how they're going to authenticate into your systems, right? And so you can require that they use phishing resistant authentication, allow access with Microsoft Authenticator, and you can use conditional logic to balance security and usability. And this makes credential abuse dramatically harder for any attackers. Make that part of those conditional access policies. And once this is done, just let the system work for you. Once it's set up, everything runs automatically. The only steps you have to do is add a contractor to the group. Access is granted instantly to what they need. Remove them at the end. Access is revoked immediately, including any active sessions. There's no additional cleanup needed, no lingering risk, no late night, hey, did we forget somebody? Moments, right? It's all done all automatically just by pulling them out of that group. If contractor access has ever kept you up at night, or if you're not confident that accounts are being cleaned up properly, then conditional access is one of the fastest wins that you can implement. At Eternal Networks, we help businesses design secure, automated access systems that actually match how they operate. So if you would like a set it and forget it approach that protects your business without slowing it down, let's talk. We can definitely help you implement a solution for that. You can also schedule a time if you'd like to talk with me about that through the link that'll show on your screen there or in the comments. All right, let me just check here and see if there's any questions or comments from our live audience. I am not seeing anything currently popping up. So if you're watching this after the fact and you got any questions, throw them in there. I'll make sure to get to those as soon as I see them. Thanks for joining us today, for taking the time, whether you're watching live or watching the recording later on. If you found this information helpful, please give it a thumbs up, right? Let us know by posting a comment in there with the thoughts that you had, right? Or if you have other questions about other technology or security tools that maybe you'd like to know a little bit more about. Your feedback helps us to create content that's valuable to you moving forward. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any updates from us in the future. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to help you to navigate the world of technology and cybersecurity. And if you need any further assistance, feel free to reach out to me via DM on any of the platforms, or you can find out all of our contact information on our website at